Welcome to the Confident Parent series. Today we will be discussing helping your child navigate adolescence. The initial teenage years see lots of changes including physical, emotional, social, and cognitive. At this time, teenage bodies, emotions, and identities change in different ways at different times.
For girls, physical changes sometimes start happening as young as 8 years old. Although for many, these changes begin as your child enters the teenage years. For boys, physical changes usually start around 11 to 12 years, but any time between 9 and 14 years is normal. As they move through their teenage years, your child is likely to be more self-conscious, especially about their physical appearance. As your child develops, they will likely compare their appearance with those of their friends, peers, and role models. Adolescent self-esteem is often affected by appearance or by how teenagers think they look. Your support and understanding of their choices will make them feel safe while discovering their individuality.
During the teenage years, your child's sleep patterns will change. This is because the brain produces melatonin at a different time of the day. This makes your child feel tired and ready for bed later in the evening. It can keep your child awake into the night and make it difficult for them to get up the next morning. Sleep is essential to healthy brain development, so here are some tips that may help. Ensure your child has a comfortable, quiet sleep environment. Encourage winding down before bed, away from screens including phones. Reinforce a regular sleeping routine. Your child should aim to go to bed and wake up at regular times each day. Encourage your child to get enough sleep. On average, teenagers need 8 to 10 hours each night.
Now that your child is becoming a teenager, you might notice them showing strong feelings and intense emotions at different times. Your child's moods might be unpredictable, and those emotional ups and downs can lead to increased conflict. This is partly because your child's brain is still learning how to control and express emotions in a grown-up way. As your child moves through puberty, these emotional mood swings will begin to settle. At the same time, your child might be more sensitive to your emotions. While they're learning to understand other people's emotions, they might misread facial expressions or body language, but they'll get better at this as they move into their later teens. Your child might also go through a stage of acting without thinking. They are still developing control over their impulses, and their decision-making and judgment skills are still evolving, as are their brains. More importantly, they are still learning that actions have consequences. Your guidance to help them think through their decisions and actions is critical in their maturation and development as young adults.
With so many changes happening to your child's brain, it's especially important that your child is protected and nurtured. It just so happens that the occurrence of poor mental health increases during the teenage years. It's thought this can be related to the fact that the developing brain is more vulnerable to stress factors than the adult brain. Teenage stresses can include experiencing high-risk behavior, starting a new school, peer pressure, or major life events like moving residence or the death of a loved one. Keep in mind that too much protection and attention might not be good for your relationship. Instead, staying connected and involved in your child's life can help you learn more about how your child is coping with stress. It can also help you to keep an open relationship with your child and ensure that your child sees you as someone to talk to, even about embarrassing or uncomfortable topics. Be aware that much of their coping mechanisms are learned from what they see and hear. This includes what they see and hear at home, around their peers, and what they learn through social media. It's understood that children are more likely to be open to parental guidance and monitoring during their teenage years if they've grown up in a supportive and nurturing home environment.
Young people are busy working out who they are and where they fit into the world, so you might notice that your child is searching for identity. For example, trying out new clothing styles, music, art, friendships, and so on. As your child gets older, their identity will become stronger and they'll get a sense of what kind of adult they will be. In many cases, these changes are not permanent and will likely just be a phase of discovery. Seeking more independence is common. Your child might want more responsibility too. Getting a part-time job, choosing subjects to study at school, getting to social events by themselves, and exploring extracurricular activities are all normal steps towards independence. Your child might be more likely to look for new experiences, even risky ones. Remember, this is part of their normal growth process towards becoming self-reliant individuals. You'll probably find your child to be more open to influence, especially when it comes to behavior, sense of self, and self-esteem. They will also likely start to explore their sexual identity and sexuality. This includes romantic relationships or going out with someone special, though these aren't necessarily intimate relationships. As difficult as this may be for some parents to discuss with their children, this is the time that they become aware and begin to learn how to manage natural sexual impulses. Parental honesty and guidance through discussion and role modeling is crucial at this stage in their lives.
As your child matures, they are likely to be thinking more about right and wrong. Your words and actions still shape your child's sense of right and wrong, but as your child moves towards adulthood, they'll have a stronger sense of their own personal values and morals. However, the internet, mobile phones, and social media can significantly influence how your child communicates with their peers and how they learn about the world. Staying connected with your teenage child can be an important part of supporting their social and emotional development. Here are some tips to help your child navigate adolescence. Let your child take some healthy risks. New and different experiences help your child develop an independent identity, explore grown-up behavior, and move towards independence. Help your child find new, creative, and expressive outlets for their feelings. They might be expressing and trying to control new emotions. Many teenagers find that music, doing or watching a sport, writing, and other art forms are good outlets. Talk through decisions step by step with your child. Ask about possible courses of action your child might choose, and talk through potential consequences. Encourage your child to consider positive consequences or rewards against negative ones. Use family routines to give your child's life some structure. These might be based around school and family timetables.
Provide boundaries and opportunities for negotiating those boundaries. Young people need guidance and limit setting from their parents and other adults. Offer praise and positive rewards for desired behavior. This reinforces pathways in your child's brain. Be a positive role model. Your behavior will show your child the behavior you expect. Stay connected with your child. You'll probably want to keep an eye on your child's activities and friends. Being open and approachable can help you with this. Talk with your child about their developing brain. Understanding this important period of growth might help your child process their feelings. It might also make taking care of their mental health more interesting.
Teenagers are often passionate about their interests, especially ones that give them opportunities to socialize. You can help your child develop skills and confidence by supporting their interests, activities, and hobbies.
Your child's relationships with family and peers will go through big changes and shifts. Maintaining strong relationships with both family and friends is important for healthy social and emotional development. You might notice that your child wants to spend less time with family and more time with their friends. If you find this hard, it might help to know that friends are more likely to influence your child's short-term choices, like appearance and interests, while your influence is important on your child's long-term decisions, like career choices, values, and morals.
Conflict tends to peak in early adolescence, so there might be more arguments with you. It might seem like your child sees things differently from you now, though it isn't because they want to upset you. Conflict may arise because they're beginning to think more abstractly and are questioning different points of view. Through all this, a strong relationship with you is an important foundation for building your child's perspective. Remember that some conflict is normal since teenagers are seeking more independence. It actually shows that they are maturing and establishing their own perspective and individuality. How teenagers spend their time is crucial to their development. So it's worth thinking about the range of activities and experiences your child is into, such as music, sports, studying, and more.
You are an important part of your child's environment. How you guide and influence them will be important in helping them to build healthy habits. You can do this by role modeling, encouraging positive behavior, promoting good thinking skills, and helping them get lots of sleep.
Every child experiences changes at a different rate. If you're concerned about your child's rate of development, or you have concerns about your child's changing body, thinking, or behavior, you could start by talking to a school counselor or your general physician. If you're really worried, you could look for a privately practicing counselor or therapist. Thank you, and remember to support each other and support yourselves.